Are tumble turns just a waste of energy? Well, are they necessary to be a good swimmer? I mean, all the top swimmers tumble turn, but do they really help?
Yeah, and can you learn them later in life? And should you even bother? Well, today we're going to be discussing exactly that, because there's a lot more to tumble turns than just saving a few hundredths of a second.
Do they even save a few hundredths of a second? So our results seem to show that the time saving of a tumble turn is pretty marginal. I mean, it would add up to a significant amount of time over 1,500 meters or 3,800 meters, but your triathlon is in open water, so you're not going to be doing the tumble turns anyway, so there's no saving at all, right?
Well, no, not right, actually. There's a lot more to tumble turns than just simply the time difference. So let's take a look at it side by side. As you can see from this, when I come into the touch turn, I have to swim all the way into the wall. My turn only starting when I've fully crashed into the wall, basically pushing some force into the wall so that I can push off it in response. If you come in too slow or turn too early, you have no momentum to push off the wall. I also take a quick breath as I lift my head before I duck it back down to push off. By contrast, when I tumble turn, the turn is initiated before I even get to the wall. A foot or more from the wall, I do a big pull, ducking my head down, and my momentum brings my legs over, tucking them as I then flick above my head before they touch the wall, and I use both my legs to push off back the way I came.
It may or may not be obvious from that Mark's tumble turn took him significantly less energy. If it wasn't so obvious, let me explain. When he tumble turned, he used his normal swim stroke, except for a contraction of his stomach, a crunch essentially, and his hamstrings tucking his legs as they flicked over the top. Then his quads for the push, of course. Whereas for the touch turn, he stabilized himself with his arm touching the wall, lifted his head up and out of the water, did an oblique crunch to pull his legs up to his stomach, this time with water resistance, unlike the tumble turn where his legs were in the air, and then did the same push off the wall. All in all, a movement that required far more muscles and therefore far more energy than the tumble turn.
Well, that's it then. A tumble turn makes you marginally faster and saves you a tiny amount of energy. Well, no, like an infomercial, wait, there is more. A tumble turn actually makes you a better swimmer. Not just look like a better swimmer, it actually makes you a better swimmer. I think this one needs a little explanation too. Every time you touch turn, you do various things, as we've already explained, that break your swim rhythm. You lift your head, you take a breath, you do that oblique crunch. It's like a mini break at each wall. Tumble turns, by contrast, enable you to keep your rhythm. You may hold your breath a beat longer, but mostly it's the same breathing pattern you had all the way across the pool. You also keep your arms in mostly the same motion and return to the stable, balanced swim position quicker.
And this is where the real advantage of tumble turns comes in, particularly for triathletes. You train to swim more continuously, much like you will in a race, making you fitter and better. You will, literally, just because you do tumble turns, be a better swimmer.
Well, you're probably watching this now and thinking, easy for you to say, but how do I learn to tumble turn? Well, mostly it is just practice, but let's run you through the basics. First, practice away from the wall a few times so you don't hit your feet, and then gradually get closer. Far safer than doing it the other way around. Now, time your last breath and make it slightly bigger, holding it until you start the turn. Start the front arm pull the right distance from the wall. This is about 2 foot, maybe a little bit more. Pull your arm through all the way to your waist, so both your arms by your side, and at the same time, duck your head with the chin to your chest. As your legs leave the water, bend at the knee and tuck them as close to your chest as possible. Your momentum should carry your tucked body into the wall feet first. As your feet touch the wall, push off the wall and into a streamlined position. You can twist onto your front as you push off the wall, or push off on your back and then rotate. Try to trickle air out of your nose throughout the turn so that water doesn't go up your nose. You may feel a little desperate to breathe as the turn may take as long as 3 strokes, but if you can keep your head down, you'll exit the turn a lot faster.
Build the speed of the tumble turn as you get better and more comfortable doing it and can better judge that distance away from the wall. In many ways, a tumble turn actually gets easier as you swim harder and faster. So it is worth progressing. I actually only learned to tumble turn much later in life. But learning to tumble turn was crucial in getting my swim up to a level where I could be competitive in a triathlon.
Yeah, it is definitely a worthwhile skill to learn. And once you master it, it just takes your swimming to a whole new level. And you probably wonder, why and how you actually coped beforehand.
Yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If it has helped you tumble turn, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss all of our swimming videos. And happy swimming.